What up, everyone? Welcome to the Brunch Gimmick. I am Laurence Cartier. We are live. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. I am actually at a road game today. I'm actually having just entered my mom's place. This is not my usual setup, thus the technical difficulties at the beginning of me frantically trying to hit the video properly because my mouse wouldn't work. But on the positive side, we have a special guest joining us at the beginning of the show. She is the IWS Women's Champion, the IWS World Heavyweight Champion, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head and read this notes real quick. 244 on the PWI 500. I'm really good at this. Kristara, stop laughing in the background. I see it. Our good friend, Kristara, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem. How are you doing?
Good, yeah?
I'm pretty good. A little tired, but good. First off, congratulations. Number 244, jumping 250 spots, which is crazy to think about. How do you feel about it?
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. Like last year, I wasn't even expecting to make it. So then to jump that much, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, because you're just like, oh, is anyone watching always, type of thing. So that was really cool.
Yeah, for like people who don't know, basically the criteria is you also, for at least this list, because there's also the women's list. Yeah. And so for this one is you have to also, I think it's at least the junior heavyweight or heavyweight division. You have to at least wrestle in there, which as right now you're the IWS heavyweight champion. I'm going to get to that in a second, but like, how do you feel in being a list? Like, not only making it, but like being on top of like such fellow Canadians like Eric Young, Evil Uno, who rocking the Mystery Wrestling shirt. We'll talk about that later on the show. Was at Mystery Wrestling last week. Who are you Austin are at Mystery Wrestling now. So like being on the list with all these contemporaries and being within spitting distance of one of your coaches, Speedball Mike Bailey, like how did you expect so soon this would happen? Like as quickly as a rise up the rankings, and not only that, but like getting international attention more and more.
Yeah. Honestly, no, it's not something I expected. Like, it's crazy to see myself on a list. Like you said, like Eric Young, like people you grow up watching. You don't like expect yourself to be like in like the same conversation as those people. So it's pretty cool. I definitely
Yeah.
wasn't expecting it. Um, I, just took it like day by day, like month by month. And like, you just try your best in every booking that you get. And you really just kind of don't know where things are going to go and how good your year is going to be. Like, you're like always hopeful that your year is going to be better than your last year, but some things are just out of your control. So I definitely didn't expect it, but it's cool because, yeah, it just, I guess, puts into perspective the things that you are doing and the attention that you are getting. And it's like, okay, all this work isn't for nothing. The people are paying
Yeah.
attention. It was pretty crazy. To like you said, to be that close to speedball, someone that's been working so hard for so long, just makes you feel more motivated, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I know from our end, like the amount of times, uh, even with now Americans, that like your name comes up when we're like talking about
Sorry, you're
Canadian
freezing a little bit.
wrestlers is growing more and more. So like, I know it feels like at times wrestling in Canada it feels sort of insular. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes wrestling in Canada, it's like it sort of feels insular at times, and it is like sort of like, I guess it would be like it shows like the work starting to pay off when, yes, you're getting the respect of your peers here, but like more and more people in the States are like talking about you uh
Yeah.
as like a major like star coming out of Canada.
Yeah, it's very humbling. It's very nice
Yeah.
because,
Also, like, just reference them.
sorry. I think you may have cut off a little bit.
Oh no, I didn't say anything. I think they're just.
Okay, sorry, because there was some part where it did cut off, so I was like, I don't want to be talking over you by accident.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so just about American peers
Oh
and
no,
how
it's all
people
good.
are.
Feel free.
Okay, cool, awesome. All right, so yeah, it's pretty cool because
Yeah.
you spend so much time watching all these people on IWTV, so it's cool for them to be like, oh, like you're also good, like like giving you compliments. It's really cool, and like just speaking about like my coach and stuff like that. It's like we're lucky to have IWTV, and that puts more eyes on you because it used to be like what like you have to send out tapes and stuff like that. So it's like things are just more accessible. It's a little bit
Yeah.
easier to share, and especially if you're on Twitter, you can post clips. People can see more things about you.
Yeah. And speaking of like clips and different promotions, I referenced it before, but you've worked with Evil Ono at Mr. Wrestling. First of all, like, how has that been going? And like, I can tell like it is so much fun to work there, but like, how has it been to be like not only like get booked once there, but for him to continually bring you back?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because it's a lot of fun to watch. So to be a part of it, it's like you want to
Yeah.
be a part of the type of wrestling that you like to watch as well, like as a fan. So it's always fun because every show you never know what's gonna happen, what you're going to do,
Yeah.
and sometimes I feel like they don't even know what's gonna happen. They're just like throwing things together, and that's like the beautiful thing about it because it's like things coming together, like kind of not last minute, but you know what I mean. Like it's wrestling is not easy, and then it's just always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like the fans can see that the wrestlers are
Like, what
having
is it?
fun, so it just makes it more fun.
Yeah. What does it look work there, like with a Cecil Nix and like an Evil Nuno, who like are like weird creative geniuses in their own right when they come up with this stuff?
Yeah, so sometimes you hear ideas, especially with Cecil. I get to work with him a lot, and you just have to
Yeah.
be like, "All right, I trust you. I don't really understand. I don't really know what's going on, but I'll commit to it the best that I can because you know what you're doing, and I don't, and I'll just follow." But it's often like, "What? We're doing what today? Okay, sure."
Yeah, like it. Luckily, you had the base of it coming off of the pandemic Friday night speedball shows,
Yeah, like just rolling with the
where
punches.
yeah, which like tell people about that who haven't seen that yet, like because that was like it was literally like we're just starting to get out of the pandemic when those shows were really rolling,
Yeah.
and you were really one of the originals. One of like you and Alex Mays were the first two on the pilot episode. So what was that
Yeah,
like working with Speedball on that?
so Friday Night Speedball was basically this Twitch show that Speedball had kind of during the pandemic, when we were able to do a little bit more things. And it'd be like very much like a lot of the IWS dojo students, like we were not a lot of people at that time because, it was a pandemic. A lot of people weren't in wrestling or didn't come back to wrestling. So often in classes, it'd be like me, Speedball, Alex Mays, and Nathan. Like that was the class. We were 4 people. And then if it's not that, okay, when it was Andrew's class, it was those same 4 people with Andrew. So that kind of was the crew, like that was always there. And then he had the idea, I guess, that for us to get more reps in front of people because you weren't able to really wrestle in front of people, especially when I first started wrestling. It was pandemic was starting again, but it was not as many opportunities. So it gave us that opportunity to like get more work in front of a camera and like work towards a crowd because you have to like answer the comments or interact with people and get out of your shell because like you're not just like wrestling matches, like we're all also like doing like crazy things like hot chip challenges, or one time we had to like sing karaoke. So I was really shy at the beginning, but it made me get out of my shell because I couldn't just be boring. Like I remember I was singing a song and then for some reason I was like, I'm going to sing it like really weirdly. And it was like really embarrassing, but I was like trying to like show more of myself. And then at some point I was a cowboy. I was just like doing stuff and everybody was kind of like, who is this person? But it was like who I am. But they didn't know that yet because I wasn't like out of my shell yet. Yeah. So that helped me get out of my shell and show more who I was. And I can probably say the same thing for Alex Mays and Nathan. It helped us get out of our shell and be comfortable, to be silly,
Yeah, because that was like the first time I got to know you guys was through those shows. Because literally I was the same. It hits home for me because the same time I was getting going as a content creator at Love Wrestling was literally at those Friday Night Speedball shows where I started covering them.
That's so true. Yes, yeah. And you took a stunner.
And yeah, and then that became a bit that will live for me forever. As whenever
Andrew was so happy to do that.
Yeah. I'm glad I could give him joy. I'm glad my pain constantly gives him joy.
It's the shenanigans that's the most fun part about wrestling for most people.
Yeah. Yeah, like absolutely. Like it was very much the same for me. Whereas like I was coming out of my shell first. Like I didn't know, especially at those like first few shows, what should I do? Like do I go up to people? Like I didn't like know exactly the lay of the land yet. As I like
it's like
got to know everyone.
To navigate.
Yeah. And like you were sort of forced out of your shell when one comment, Poon Slayer smokes weed.
Yeah, my husband.
Like I got to
he exposed me.
I will tell people you married him. You didn't know him before that.
Yeah, we met.
As the bit goes, you met him on that. Yeah.
Yeah, we met on Friday Night Speedball.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, everyone was so shocked. I remember because I like I was saying, I was so like undercover, like not really being myself. Everybody was like, I think it was people that read the comments, so that made it extra embarrassing to me.
Veda.
Oh, it's Veda and Speedball. Yeah, that's so embarrassing.
Yeah, their line read was so good.
Yeah, they're like
they
it
both
was like with a question mark.
Yeah. Like what is Kristara into?
And I was like, oh my god, because he purposely made like the most embarrassing name on purpose,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's his legal name, and now your legal name.
Yeah.
But speaking of the IWS, a lot of changes there coming up. They just moved to a new dojo, and they'll be doing shows going forward. Called L'Enfer, or then this first show will be called Hell. First of all, I'll pull up the card here. There we go. Oh no. But yeah, like what can people expect from this new location? Like you've obviously probably had a chance to see it, probably work there a little bit and train there a bit. What can people expect from it? And like, why was this important for the IWS to do?
Yeah. So the new venue, it's like also the dojo. So I've been there a lot. It's awesome because now it's just ours. So it's giving IWS the ability to run more shows, tell more stories, which is just so important as a wrestler. You want to get more reps. So that was really important for IWS to have its home base. And then like when it's like a bigger show, like, you know, the end of the year or WrestleMania, then we go to the Olympia, then we go to the MTELUS. So it's just really important to give the roster like a main like location, especially too, it's like, it's all ours. Like I was just saying, we used to share our dojo with other places. So now it's like all ours. We can run multiple shows. We can run student shows. There's a gym. It's like just also like an underground vibe. So that's something I can say people can expect. Like it's just cool. And I feel like it fits like the vibe IWS has. Like it's kind of like, I guess kind of underground, not really traditional like wrestling, like, you know, type of thing, like not like TV wrestling in the traditional sense. So I think the venue represents like the grunginess of IWS. That's the word I was looking for, like kind of grungy, cool, and like, you
Underground.
know, it's very cool. So I'm excited for everyone to see it because every time we go to the dojo, we're like, oh, this is so cool. This is all ours, you know, like there's beautiful artwork throughout the venue that really just makes it like personal. Like it's not just like when you go to like the Olympia, it's beautiful, but it's like it looks the same every other show from a wrestling show to like a concert show. Whereas this one, it's like you really know that you're at IWS.
Yeah. You came off the last IWS show in a very hard-hitting and violent match with James Stone in the last person standing match.
Yeah.
James Stone, little self-involved, constantly saying me. It's never about us or you.
Right?
But yeah, what was getting into the physicality of a last person standing match, and like what were you expecting going in? How'd you feel after the match?
Yeah, so it's not a match I expected to do. Like when I first started, I was just like, let's just try wrestling, right? And I didn't think that I would do like weapons and stuff like that because I just didn't think it was me, especially weapons against someone the size against like James Storm. I should say James Storm because he's in my brain. James Stone, because I saw James Storm the other day or something like that. But yeah, it was really. I came into the match just thinking to myself, I don't want to get hurt because I don't really do matches like that. So I was just like, let me just trust the process, trust my opponent. Because if I have to like believe in what I'm doing and trust what I'm doing, because if I don't and if I'm doubting things, that's how you get hurt. So I was just like really just trying my best. I tried my best to come prepared with ideas of things to do. So it's things that I feel comfortable doing. So that was cool to do because it was in the main event at Olympia. Just 2 years ago, I think I was just on the pre-show at Olympia, just happy to be there. I had like a 2-minute match, you know? So from going to the pre-show to the main card, not only the main card, the main event in a match like that, it's pretty awesome because we did some crazy things, you know? Last person standing match, that's not something that happens often on the indies. And we did this crazy ladder spot where the ladder was on the guardrail and on the ring, and then I ran at him over, and when he fell, I was like, he's gone. I'm like, I hope he's not getting up, like in terms of like the match, because I want to win. But the way he fell, I was like, oh my God. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming up on this show, it doesn't get easier for you as you're facing Big Ben Tull, former IWS champion. Like, how do you go in a match, especially when there's such a size disparity between you and your opponent?
I feel like most of the time I'm always fighting up. I'm always gonna be most of the time the smaller person. So I just have to get more creative with everything. I have to work a little harder for everything. So I'm honestly used to the size difference. It's actually like more common for me to be wrestling like bigger people these days. I don't know what it is. I'm always getting my ass beat. Like that's the joke. Like I'm always getting jumped. I'm always getting my ass beat. That's like the Kristara signature. Like everybody at the dojo jokes like they can't wait to be like to get the chance to jump me next because like, you know, it's like an honor, a rite of passage. I'm like, geez, thanks, you know. But that's just the life of a baby face, like always getting jumped. Hold on, I'm just gonna open the door because my cat's making noise. Okay, sorry. But yeah, it's just business as usual.
Oh no, it's all good.
Fighting big people, especially Ben Tull. We've wrestled each other a few times, never at IWS, so this is the first time. So I'm pretty excited because, like you said, he's a former champion. So it's kind of one of those things you want to do to prove yourself defeat the former champion to show that you are, you know, rightfully the champion right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like also other matches on the card, you've already mentioned them, but is sort of coach on coach violence of Alex Mays versus
Yeah.
Nathan Yarimovich. Like, like you probably one of the people that know them both the best is like you were tag team champions with Alex Mays.
Yeah.
Uh, like like one of the like better pop, like bigger pops I've heard was when you guys won the title at Baymax here, and like everyone was legitimately happy for you guys. And you've also
Yeah.
got Nathan Yarimovich, who you also sort of came up with.
Yeah.
Like, what are your feelings going into that match? And like, do you see a potential title match with Alex Mays or Nathan after this?
Yeah, never say never. Like there's things that happen all the time that I never expect to happen. I feel like it's kind of bound to happen too, seeing the road that Alex Mays is going down. You know, I'm like on the road of still being positive
Yeah.
where, you know, he's been doing some shady things lately at IWS, especially with Frank Milano. So I
Yeah.
can see it happening, just seeing what he's willing to do these days. And I know that seeing this opportunity, I'm sure they're both going to do whatever they can to stand out, to steal the show, because it's always fun to get a one-on-one match with your friend, especially on a main show. So you want to be able to show and highlight
Yeah.
all your strengths and all their strengths.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also have, I guess they own the IWS now. You've got the Addiction uh, versus Animal and Green Phantom, because I he'd probably forget he quit this show, but Manny at the last show seemingly gave up control of the IWS, then threw the mic pretty well into the crowd, where I think
Oh my
somebody
god,
like almost hit somebody.
jeez.
But yeah, again, against Phantom and Animal. Uh,
Yeah,
what are your thoughts going into this as somebody who knows like these four well, and like I've
yeah.
seen like especially the Addiction come up more and more in the last like 3 years.
Yeah, this match is interesting. You have like IWS staples, you have Green Phantom, you have Animal, who's been in IWS for like 10 years, IWS tag champion, versus two hungry people where this is their first time on the main card. Like, this is their chance to show that they deserve to be there. And like, what better way to do that than being one of half of the tag champions and one of the staples of IWS. Like, when you think of IWS, you think of the Green Phantom. So to be able to defeat him, that's like a great start, because often when you're first starting at IWS, you don't really get chances like that so early on, right? So that's like a big opportunity
Yeah.
very early on. So I'm excited to see what they're able to do.
Yeah. Also, as somebody who was a former tag team champion, you've got the
Yeah.
IWS tag team champion number one contenders match between Fresh Air, DDT, and Bombshell Brigade, who I so very much want them to come out with camo merch.
Yes, yes. And they
Uh,
need to get merch. That's so true. Yeah.
like those Bombshell Brigade shirts are so awesome. But like, uh, again, it's somebody who has held the tag team titles in IWS and at C4 as well, with, as we mentioned before, Cecil Nix. Uh, like, well, what do you expect? You've like wrestled, you've been in the ring with these teams before. So what can
Yeah.
people expect from these three teams?
I definitely expect chaos. I expect them to be like all over the venue, especially with TDT. Like, you know, it's going to get crazy. You know, it's going to get flippy with Fresh Air, and then Bombshell Brigade. Like, it's a new tag team. So they're against
Yeah.
like two staples of like Canadian wrestling, I would say. Tag teams like TDT, Fresh Air, they're all over Quebec, all over Ontario, even the United States. So to be able to defeat like such a big team early on in like their team as very early on in their career as a tag team, like that would be a big opportunity for them. And I don't really think I've really seen either of those people interact. Like, I've never seen Danny and Drea really interact with TDT. So that's like an interesting new combination. And just to see how they're all going to do, I'm excited. Because like you said, I've been in a tag team before. And it's fun to just have someone out there with you, just having your back and having the same thoughts and same wants. It motivates you, it pushes you to have someone with you. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they're able to do. And yeah, I can't say I know who I'm rooting for because they're all three great tag teams. I love them all.
Yeah, as well as somebody we just referenced, James Stone will be wrestling Mercedes, the maniacal
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes. What advice can you give Mercedes going into fighting James Stone, seeing as you just recently defeated him?
Yeah, I guess you got to hit him hard. He's gonna come at you and be relentless, and he's gonna mouth off at you constantly throughout the whole thing. So like, don't let it get in your head because, like you said, he loves to talk. He loves to make it about himself. So you gotta like, I don't know. You got to get him early on. You can't give him a chance to get going.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you've got a bunch of people you know very, very well at this point in Katrina Creed, Melanie Havoc,
Mhm.
Leah Sparks, and Heavy Rocks in a four-way match, which like
Yeah,
two of them have already been IWS Women's Champion, the
yeah,
title
it's
you
stacked.
currently hold. So yeah, it is a stacked match. Like what do you expect from this match? And especially someone like Leah Sparks, who's become a bigger and bigger star going like the last year.
Yeah, so I'm so excited because in this match you have Heavy Rocks making her IWS debut. I'm super excited everyone to be able to see what she's able to do on Fight TV because she's kind of like a hidden gem in Quebec wrestling. Doesn't get the credit that she deserves. So I'm excited to see her mix it up with all the IWS girls. Leah Sparks as well is someone that works so hard. She's come such a long way from when she first started because she's constantly improving, constantly like working towards the things that maybe she's not good at. And yeah, I'm excited to see what she's able to do with these two former champions who've kind of like reached the peak and I guess trying to get back to that peak as well. So you have like an interesting combination there. I know Melanie Havoc really well. When I first started IWS, she used to beat me up all the time,
Yeah,
jump me. Like she's probably the first person to jump me. So yeah, I know that she's just waiting to get back the title because I know I was very close when I first started to get the title from her, but she actually won it on me in a fatal four way. So I can see her coming, doing everything she can to get back at the title. Katrina Creed as well too. I'm
yeah.
sure she would love a rematch at the title since losing it. She's been doing different things, tag matches at IWS, but I'm sure she's feeding for a rematch for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a very interesting match, which I still don't know how to feel. Like we've referenced Friday Night's People before. We got Calf and the Hood Productions versus Dante Dubois. And I have to say, boo, fuck you, Matt Viviani, no matter what happens. But
Yeah.
he seems to be being a good guy, which is strange. It's the world is a topsy-turvy place right now.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't know what to believe. Him and Dante
Yeah,
are now working together after all they've been through, like being busted open, like what, one show ago or 2 shows ago? I think it
yeah,
was 2 shows ago when Dante became champion. And now that they're fighting on the same side, it's just like there's so much drama going on in IWS. Cass and Nova
yeah. No,
Productions, I think they were together for years. Him and
yeah.
JT and Matt Viviani, they were champions all over Quebec. So to see the turn was pretty crazy. And I think the match will be even crazier.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels very strange to for them wanting me to cheer Matt Viviani and
Yeah,
Matt trying to be a good guy. It
yeah,
seems like
trying.
a natural. It seems like a time where like dogs and cats would be friends. It
Yeah,
just
that's what
seems
it
like
seems
a
like. Yeah,
alternate universe. Uh,
yeah, he's embarking on a new journey. That's for sure. Like he's not someone you really see like often being cheered for. Usually, it's like you said, it's fuck you. This guy sucks. So it's gonna be an adaptation. Everyone's just gonna have to adapt to this new Matt Viviani, I guess.
yeah, and finally we got Flying Frank Milano versus Alex Silva. Uh,
Hmm.
Frank Milano, obviously, it's a second generation wrestler, right? And
Yeah,
Alex Silva, who has been around for a while. Uh, what can you say about these two? If people don't already know who they are.
yeah, Alex Silva is one of the hardest hitting wrestlers in Quebec wrestling. He's always like secretly like working hard, but not like really like posting about it. But like you when you look at see what he's doing, he's traveling all over the world. He's going to France. I'm not sure if he went to another country, but I just know that he's been working really hard. And Frank Milano too. Like I swear, what was it, like a month or two ago? He was off in Florida at the dungeon training super hard. Like these are just two wrestlers that are doing everything they can to be better. And I don't know if they've ever faced before, so that'll be really interesting to see because also their personalities are so different. You have Frank Milano, like follow the rules type of wrestler, like one of the biggest baby faces. Like you see him, he's like the joke about Frank Milano is like he'll make little jokes and it's always like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. Like he's just so like lighthearted and kind. And then you have Alex Silva probably like willing to do whatever it takes to win. So just to see that contrast, it'll be really interesting.
Yeah, like Frank Milano's more of like a quintessential extrovert, whereas Alex Silva is more brooding and will beat you up and then leave.
Mysterious.
Right
Yeah,
afterwards.
he'll beat you up. Yeah, that's for sure.
Like people haven't, if they could check back his match with Speedball, which is like one of the more hard hitting, straight up to kick 'em, punch 'em up guys. We've got Snake and Dove in the chat saying, hoping you could do more matches where you wreck giant dudes like James. It works so well.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, I love beating up big men. just being a little person beating them up. It feels like so empowering. It also just feels like, yo, what am I doing? You know, I could have been a doctor. You know?
Yeah. And now you could beat up people who play doctors on the show.
As yeah, pretty much like Frank Milano.
Wrestling lawyers and wrestling doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah. the pilot. Yep. Kristara, I've taken up enough of your time today. I really appreciate you hopping on to talk IWS. Can you tell people about the show, what the date, and anything else you want to plug going forward?
So October 3rd, it's going to be located in Montreal. That's a Friday. That's this Friday. It's IWS' first show at L'Enfer. You can find the details on their Facebook, their Instagram, IWS Hardcore. Please come check it out because it's our new venue. The tickets are $25, I think, flat. So that's like a super affordable price to come see one of the best wrestling shows you can see in Montreal. It's located center in the city now as well. So you can walk there and then go to a bar after. Like it's going to be a fun time to bring all your friends. So definitely come check it out. And if you can't come check it out, it's on Fight TV. And I think that's pretty much what I could say. Come check it out. Yeah. Come see me wrestle Ben Tull and come see me beat up some more big men. If that's what you want to see, that's what I'm going to do this Friday.
Yep. Kristara, the one-person patriarchy fighter.
I gotta do it. Someone's gotta do it, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Fixing the world one big sweaty dude at a time. Kristara, thank you so much for hopping on. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
Bye.
That was Kristara. Please check her out on her socials as well. Ranked, jumping up 250 spots in the PWI 500. We're very lucky that she wrestles here in Montreal and we get to see her all the time. And definitely, like I tweeted out earlier this week, definitely somebody you want to say you've watched before like she becomes super famous, because like you can act cool that way, like you're in on it. But yeah, somebody we're very lucky to have a friend show. But again, want to thank Kristara for her time. But also, let's talk about the last week. I was at All Out last weekend. I did the full weekend, where I got there on Friday and went to almost immediately after getting off the bus and got to my Airbnb, threw some water on my face, and went to Canadian Deathmatch, where I met up with our own BLAIR and Mike Indeed, who is filming the show. And honestly, if you have a chance, check out Canadian Deathmatch, because they had a no ring show at a bar in downtown Toronto, and it was very, very good. Like it was a lot of fun. I got to meet BLAIR for the first time, who we had a great time together. It was a truly a hard-hitting type of show you would expect from a no-ring deathmatch show, including a crazy spot, which is absolutely mind-blowing to witness live. and there was a lot of great talent on that show, including MV Young, who I actually watched for a while on Enjoy Wrestling, which is a great independent promotion out of Pittsburgh. So yeah, getting there and getting immediately like diving headfirst in wrestling on Friday night was a lot of fun. I actually got this hat there. There it is. Let's get close to the camera. The light's not doing me no favors today. But yeah, we had we went, Miller and I went to Canadian Deathmatch. We had a great time. We hung out with Mike a little bit, who was filming the show. Then Saturday, got up bright and early. My Airbnb actually happened to be not far from like literally a 15-minute walk, 10-15-minute walk from the venue, from Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. Oh, thank you so much, Fernando. Yeah, I bought it. Somebody there was. I wish I had their card with me. I brought it home, but there was a dude like who makes these and was selling them at the venue, and it was like that was like an insta buy for me. But yeah, on Saturday, I met up with Blair again. I just actually ran into Blair, who was waiting in line to get in. So we hung out a little bit before that, before getting in and to All Out. And then I ran into our good friend and host of In the Weeds and the TNA post show and a bunch of stuff on Fightful Overbooked, our good friend Joel Pearl. Oh, I did. Ran into Pearl there, to which actually on my way there, I stopped at the bus station because his co-host Jeremy Lambert tagged me trying to get me to ask the help them with the running bit, which is they've been wanting to get Loving on Me as Blake Christian's theme music, and Jeremy was trying to enlist me to ask the question to Tony Khan, to which I had to explain to him that I wasn't going to be at the press conference. But I was talking to Joel about that, and Joel's like, yeah, I'm going to ask it this time. And it was so much fun having pretty much all of media just all day waiting for Joel to ask this question. Like, we're all in on this bit, and we're all so excited for both Joel and Jeremy. But that was at the press conference. We'll get to that later. But yeah, Scotiabank, it's a nice venue. I personally prefer the Bell Center to the Scotiabank Center. But still a nice venue. Crowd was really hot off the top. I like, especially when you're asking people to do almost 5 hours of wrestling, there are going to be lulls throughout. But I'll tell you, starting off with the sort of Toronto and Canadiana tribute by having Bubbles there from Trailer Park Boys was brilliant. I rewatched part of the broadcast, and they did dim the sound to hear, obviously, because they want to hear what they're saying to Christian. But that pop went on forever. Like that through that whole segment, the second of the load, and they were chanting. I didn't get to hear exactly uh what Edge. When he's with Christian, it's so much harder not to call him Edge. But when Adam Copeland and Christian were talking, that place was chanting for Bubbles the entire time. Like Trailer Park Boys are Canadian institution. I think it was smart to do a little walk and talk promo before the match, and like I enjoyed that Edge obviously, or Copeland, got the obvious big pop and everyone singing Cope's music. Like, being there for that is so cool. I legitimately had goosebumps. Like, I was trying to record it, but I'm like, I'm too amped right now. Like, my eye kept shaking. Like, the video is not good and not usable. But like, it was such a cool experience to be part of. And like, I paid for my seat. So I was initially, it was huge. Like, I think the problem too was the video. The only thing with the Beth Copeland period was the video went on for too long, and people were wondering who could it be. Like, I immediately knew it was Beth, but like the people around me kept saying it was different people. I'm like, it's clearly Beth Phoenix or Beth Copeland now, I guess, because they can't legally use Phoenix. And Tony Khan fixed that real quick when Renee said that in the press conference. But yeah, but the second when she did come out, it was huge. Like, I think the only thing was they probably should have made, like, I think it lasted 15 to 20 seconds maybe before her name fully showed up on the screen. So like that took away a little bit, but when she came out and delivered that spear to Stoke, place, like everyone was stoked to see her. That was like such a perfect moment to debut her in Toronto. Uh, I'm very interested what they're going to do going forward with FTR and Cope and Beth. Like, they clearly just wrote him off TV because he's probably going to be taping a TV show, not because he's going to WWE, to be clear, because that rumor's been cleared up. They still have a contract. And uh, uh like, even if I would closer trust Tony Khan, that Tony Khan would have like a handshake deal with Copeland and be like, yes, you can work a month in WWE. I do not believe for a second WWE would let him just work one match. They would 100% would have signed him to a Legends contract for like 10 years if they had the chance. They wouldn't have been like they wouldn't have held up their end of the bargain if that match with John Cena would happen, but it's not. He's still under contract, and they just wrote him out so he can tape a TV show. But I'm excited for the future of that storyline, because I'm excited to see Beth potentially do more in AEW, but also like other big, like the Luchasaurus and Jack Perry returning was actually funny, because like it did feel, because sometimes it's hard to tell when you're in the arena when a commercial break is. So at that point, and I'm going to assume everyone in the chat is cool and there are no snitches here. But around like halfway through the show, I actually ran into her in the beginning of the show, right before the show started, but I ran into her again. I ran into Ella J, our good friend Ella J. Absolutely, Fernando. This is like, give me that every day of the week. That would be a very fun match. But yeah, I ran into our good friend Ella J in the hallway, and like we were hanging out watching the Mercedes match from the bar, and then at this point I turned to her. I'm like, again, no snitching, no one's here. I turned to her and like, she's like, yeah, my friend was sitting 2 rows behind me, and like I just like told her to move over to the media seats with me. I'm like, did no one say anything? I'm like, no one said anything. So I'm like, are there empty seats next to you guys? So like, yeah, there's a bunch of empty seats. I'm like, all right, you're cool if I go back with you? She's like, yeah. So for like the back half of the show, I sat in the much more comfortable media seats, and it was also like way lower down. Like literally, I was sitting right next to Hardcam, like 2 seats away from Hardcam. So thank you to Ella J for doing crimes for me. But yeah, like so like the back half of the show, I watched from there, and like everyone there, like quite a few people thought like they were sort of in a break right after the ladder match, and like the Young Bucks were like standing in the ring, and it felt like there was a break, so people did get up. But I'm like, I'm gonna sit here and watch this just in case something happens. And then Jack Perry showing up, there was a massive pop. And then when Luchasaurus came up, an even bigger pop. And when they hugged and that music hit, that place exploded. Like that, it was such a smart move to give them back their music that night and play it that night. Uh, yeah, like I would have liked to see potentially them do a little more with Jack's singles push. Uh, but I don't want him to see him go full. I would like him to both be sort of these brooding characters to show that their characters have been through stuff. Like, I don't want to see Jack Perry fully revert to Jungle Boy. Uh, Sort of like in the same way in WWE, I wouldn't want Dominic Mysterio to fully revert to uh, babyface Dominic Mysterio. I like him how he looks now. Uh, but yeah, like keeping that theme music is the right call, and that pop in that arena was absolutely insane. And like literally I saw like a bunch of my media friends rush back in time to catch it. Because like they all thought it was at a commercial break or like they're setting up for the next. But also that ladder match was insane. Oh my god, like there was so many crazy moments throughout that card, but like Speedball dying multiple times, just showing once again reckless Cigar Dito just being the coolest, and then Brody King murdering Speedball on a ladder. And there's one thing Speedball commit to and we were like LOJ pointed out to me, like, Speedball hasn't moved for 5 minutes and only moved a little when they were doing that last like ladder spot when Bandito was doing the flip with the ladder, the moonsault with the ladder to the outside. And he only just slightly moved out of the way, but just was the play dead the entire end of the match. But that match was great. I really enjoyed the JF match, the barbed wire table match. Like, starting out that match and absolutely covering the mat in thumbtacks was a crazy way to start. And I also felt so bad for the referee, as there is no space for him to count the 3. He had to do the most ginger counts, even with gloves on. With like exactly what I expect that match. And like, what am I blanking on his name? By the way, that match absolutely ruined. I honestly think the right person won that match. I didn't think there was much to gain from MJF winning the match. So like I think the right winner won there. But also speaking of like insanely brutal matches, that casket match was exactly what I expected to be. Just absolutely brutal. They beat the hell out of each other. Those caskets are not cheap. Yeah. I think he's also like had great matches in Ring of Honor while he was signed with, but like on the main card, and him getting Mark Briscoe getting a main pay-per-view match was huge for him. Like, it's clear how much Tony Khan loves him. And it was great that he finally got a big win, because like all the times like wrestlers like him, they just end up like losing those big matches because they're there, like people see them as like there to put over the big star. But him winning that match definitely has more credibility, and hopefully he could win a AEW singles title. I agree, but like it's clearly like saying Darby should have won. Like I agree to a certain extent, because like yes, I would have liked to see Darby win, but like this is the first in a war. Like this was obviously they're having another match coming up, an I Quit match, which I don't know how that's gonna turn out, because they're two stubborn people and two people who have amazing thresholds for pain. But I think Moxley winning is eventually going to set up Darby winning that I Quit match. I think it also helps build like tension within the Death Riders, because if Moxley quits for a second time in a second big match, like you're going to have Cesaro questioning his leadership. So I think Darby's probably going to win that I Quit match. But also, speaking of which, I greatly enjoyed afterwards the backstage segment where Darby sets Mox on fire, which I can't believe he did that stunt himself in a body bag. Like that bag could have melted real quick and could have been a problem, but like it was a crazy thing to do. But also having our good friend Big Ben Ortmans as security pulling Darby away from Mox was a big surprise. Even though I saw he had been posting pictures backstage at AEW, like I assumed he was doing something, because he had been posting pictures all week of for the day or two before being backstage talent. I'm like, oh, maybe he's doing something, and seeing him show up as security was super cool to see our good friend there. And I was so happy. I literally, like, there's a few of us, but I was like media, like pointing, hey, there's my friend Ben. But yeah, that was a fun surprise. But also the main event there was so good. The like it built slowly, like, and I agree. Like a lot of people felt it didn't, like they weren't into it at the beginning, but by the end, everyone was invested. Like it built back up. People got very tired, uh, so it sometimes take time to get people back into it, and they did a good job. And like it was a very good win for Hangman, who, like, I think this was one of the more obvious wins on the card. Like with between him and like Mercedes Moné winning, like those were two of the more obvious ones. I think when Statlander winning was a really cool upset, and how she did it was a very like tight roll up pin, which makes sense that she couldn't kick out, and like it made everyone look good coming out of that match. Yeah, it did absolutely. Like I think the event went off great. I think the Proto Star looked like his name, looked like the Proto Star, and like I think Hangman absolutely looked amazing throughout. Oh yeah, like it was a crazy hard hitting match. They built that perfectly to get the crowd back invested into it by the end, and every like even though like I would have been very surprised if Fletcher won, if Kyle Fletcher won fall, especially near like there's a few of them near the end where I thought Kyle Fletcher might win it. Like I had like my heart on my chest, like wow, they're actually going to do this, pull the trigger here. But no, like like Kyle Fletcher comes off looking strong as hell. I think as TBS champion, he's going to hold on to it for a little bit. But yeah, like 100%, I think I agree with you. Fletcher is going to be the future of AEW. I think he's like still growing and still very, very young, but like the Fury AEW is in good hands, especially like Kyle Fletcher on the card. But yeah, that was the pretty much like a quick sum up of like my day at All Out. And then afterwards, I was going to go to another independent show, but I was just too exhausted. And I'm like, I also wanted to watch the press conference uh, to see if Joel was going to get this question off. And when I tell you, like, everyone in media had become deeply invested to see if they're going to get Loving on Me, if Tony Khan would license the rights to Loving on Me for Blake Christian, for Vanilla Baby Berg Christian. Solely that song, Vanilla Baby, and is kind of like a bop. And I remember the second, like, Jeremy was telling it on In the Weeds that he knew Joel was going to ask the question. But every question, he was getting incredibly frustrated because every question was some form of, will you be back to this Canadian city? Or are you coming back to this Canadian city? It's like, he had enough of everyone asking about the Canadian city, just call on Joel. And the second they called on Joel, I remember tweeting out, oh my God, it's happening. And like Alex Lahas took a video of it. Like both Alex and Ella J, who were also knew was going to happen, like instantly started filling him. Joel, and the fact we found out that they had tried to license it but were denied, and has now turned Jeremy's attention to Jack Harlow, who denied AEW the license, and every day since he has been tweeting Jack Harlow to license the music, uh, which has filled me with joy. But yes, the next day I actually did go to Mystery Wrestling, where I'm rocking the shirt right here. Comedy wrestling is pro wrestling, and had a absolutely amazing time. Like I sat with Joel in the back the entire show. Let's sign up to their Patreon and rewatch that show because it's well worth it. But the whole like being there for Bunny's return, the Bunny Alley return to professional wrestling, which like the second we saw Penelope come out, Joel and I turned to each other without like none of us saw who was there. So we literally turned to each other and we're like, oh, it's going to be the Bunny. And she came out and we're so excited that she's back to professional wrestling. And she did like her like mini vlog on like how happy she was. And the match went great. Like it was them versus Allison Kay. Why am I forgetting their name? But it was all in all just like somebody they put with her friend, one of her best friends, wrestling, and it went off great. I mean, you had a finish the night with like a 7-man gauntlet match for the title, for the mystery wrestling title, and all of the marbles, with Stu Grayson retaining his title. You had the actually one of my favorite matches was, again, somebody who is on the PWI 500, Psycho Mike, who is honestly one of the best wrestlers in Canada, and also one of the like crazy creative people, who was former Mystery Wrestling champion, who wrestled Michael Nakazawa in to win the match. Psycho Mike had to body slam Michael Nakazawa 3 times, and Michael Nakazawa only had to, because he is the most pathetic man in AEW, those are his words, because he is so pathetic and never wins, only had to body slam Psycho Mike 1 time. And it led to him oiling himself up repeatedly throughout the match, and then using his underwear to wipe off the ring ropes afterwards. It was a very, very funny match, and like legitimately like so much fun, and they built that so well. But yeah, like this was my second time, I believe, at Mystery Wrestling. I went the other time when it was in Gatineau, and like if you have a chance, watch it online because it airs free on their Twitch and YouTube. I think they had problems with their YouTube this time, so they were just on Twitch this time, but on Evil Uno's Twitch. But do yourself a favor, check out the Mystery Wrestling shows. Being there live is so much fun. Aubrey also refereed Ali's return match, and like after Joel's talking about too, like Joel and I became the de facto photographers for Ref Aubrey. So like everyone who's coming up, we were like, oh yeah, we'll take the picture for you. And I also like, she asked, like I had saying no because like I didn't want a picture with her, but like I didn't want to bother her. She's like, yeah, you want a picture? You'd be helping me out so much. I'm like, all right. So I got a picture with Ref Aubrey, and she like literally was still in her ref gear. Like, I'm on my way to the airport, so I don't have long. But who wants pictures? Everyone can come up and grab pictures. So yeah, Ref Aubrey is a very, very nice person. Like very, very nice and outgoing. And like I never understood why Ref Aubrey gets so much hate by some people, because she does show her personality the entire time as a referee, and she is a very, very nice person. Like every time I've seen her, like I think it's like literally when I walked to the venue, and she was wrapping up a heels event in the hallway. AEW Heels was doing a thing, and she was just like stopping, like people are stopping her to take a picture, no problem. She's a very nice person, took pictures with everyone. And yeah, like that whole show was so much fun, and I highly recommend you go there. Like I was hanging with Joel, I made new friends there, and I spent the rest of the day watching the Eagles game and playing games in the arcade with Mike and a new friend Charlie, who from England. She was very cool. And yeah, it was a really, really fun weekend. And like, man, it was like the type of thing where like, especially after the AEW show, where I'm just like, I really, really love doing this. And like, I really like, I know it's the name of the channel, but I really do love wrestling. It's one of those times where like you're reminded of that fact. And like these wrestling weekends where you're there with your friends from all over the world who you don't get to see very often, like outside, like at the, where like it's usually at these weekends, and it's always super nice. My brother, who is still upstairs or might have left, is in the chat as I am wrapping up to go back upstairs in literally 2 minutes, who literally got married 2 weeks ago. So once again, congratulations to my brother, who is now in the chat as I wrap up talking about Mr. Wrestling. But yeah, that was my week at AEW and All Out. I highly recommend, if you have a chance and they're in the city, check them out. Check out the independent shows around it too. I had a good time, Mr. Wrestling, hanging out with Joel. Yeah, it was a really, really, really good time. As for me, I will be back here next week, and follow me at CartSandyG on all the socials. We also, wait, do I still have the media asset in here? Let me see. I'll play the video real quick. Down. Once again, our own Big Bad Boris is doing I don't know how he's going to do this 40-hour stream. Here's the video announcing it.
I might be crazy for doing this. Starting November 14th for 40 hours straight. We'll be live streaming on Twitch for 40 hours to raise money for the Canadian Mental Health Association, specifically here in Edmonton. I wanted to help contribute and raise some money for the Canadian Mental Health Association. I'm looking to bring some awareness to the stigma of mental health, especially in men, that it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to talk about it. Doesn't make you any less of a man. But I also want to make it fun. We're gonna revisit a lot of the stuff that I've done on Saturday Night Love, Hulk Hogan Celebrity Championship Wrestling, on Wrestling Society X, Botchamania Roulette, some more Sporkle trivia. I'm super excited about this. I hope that everybody will take the time to tune in, even for a few minutes here and there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be long.
Yep, that's our own Big Bad Boris doing a 40-hour stream, which I will be doing something. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing yet, but I'll be a part of it. I don't know how he's going to survive this. But yeah, that's going to do it for our show this week. We'll be back here next week. Thank God, have nothing else coming up with the next couple of weeks. So we'll be back at our regular schedule. We'll see you back here at 12 p.m. right here on Love Wrestling. Until next week. Bye, everybody.